Good afternoon, class. My name is Cassandra Lewis, and today I will be presenting one of the aspects of psychology that is misrepresented. I chose mental illness. So, my grandmother Mary, she says all mentally ill people are peculiar and dangerous. But the truth is, often the media portrays mental illness in a negative light, and this in turn affects the way we view mental illness. It is dangerous for fictional stories to misrepresent the realities of mental illness. Negative portrayals can contribute to the stigma surrounding mental illness, making those who need help less likely to seek help. In media, TV shows, and movies, the way the fictional characters experience and cope with mental illness can directly affect the way real life people understand and react to conditions of mental illness. Not everything on television is portrayed as accurately as in real life, but there are some TV shows that do. One of those is This Is Us. Powerful, there's a powerful scene in This Is Us where Randall was having an anxiety attack. Millions of Americans struggle with anxiety every day, and so many myths about this disorder is not true. Greg's Anatomy. They did an episode about a teenager that was homeless. In the end, it actually got it right. They also showed the main characters with dealing with ongoing battles with things like addiction and depression. Another show, You're the Worst. One of the biggest characters, Gretchen Cutler, admitted that she was clinically depressed, an emotional episode that addressed her relationships, and she admitted and accepted her illness. Mentally ill people, peculiar and dangerous. What are your guys' opinions? There was a study done in the Journal of Health Communication, and they determined that mentally ill characters on television are often perceived that way. For example, in the series Scandals with Olivia Pope, she murders a particular man. Her sudden outrage appears to be caused by PTSD. Because of flashbacks to past trauma, she decepted as having violent, out of control reactions to certain triggers. People that struggle with mental disorders are just like other people. With treatment for their disorders, they do not lash out with violence or strange behaviors. Plenty of people manage disorders all the time while maintaining normal, peaceful lives. Stigmatization of mental illness. What is stigmatization? Stigma happens when some person is viewed as an other. A person who is considered as other, they are denied full social acceptance. Stigmatization of mental illness in media is abundant. Example, certain mental illnesses like schizophrenia are being so disruptive that people with those conditions must be isolated from society. Media tends to focus on the individual with mental illness rather than framing mental illness as a societal issue. Every person with a specific mental illness is accepted to display the same characteristics or symptoms. Negative stereotypes of patients with mental illnesses have a long history in Hollywood. Some common stereotypes seen in films and television are, for example, homicidal maniacs. In the horror films that first appeared in the 1960s, such as Psycho, Halloween in 1978, and Friday the 13th in 1980. More recent one would be Silence of the Lambs, and made in 1991, Hannibal Lecter. Trivialization of mental illness by the media. Media trivializes mental illness either by promoting mental illness as not being severe or being less severe than it really is. Mental illness can be oversimplified by the media. Example, a person with obsessive compulsive disorder OCD is often depicted as being concerned with cleanliness and perfectionism. Mental illness is portrayed as being beneficial. Example, like the popular television series Monk, the detective who has OCD. The fact that he pays close attention to details has helped him solve crimes and made advances in his career. Deceptions of mental illness in movies. The most despairing stigmatizations of mental illness in media is they lie in movies portraying characters with schizophrenia. They're presented as homicidal maniacs in slasher psycho killer movies. Those portrayals of misinformation about the symptoms, causes, treatment of mental illness. Those portrayals of mental illness often focus on symptoms such as visual hallucinations, bizarre delusions, and presented as commonplace. In reality, symptoms like decreased motivation, poverty of speech, and flat affect are more common. The shift between reality and fantasy is a topic that has been approached by many filmmakers for its abnormality. Jamie Foxx does an amazing job at portraying the character of a kind but unstable schizophrenic biographical drama made in 2009 called The Soloist. There is another called Spider. Ralph plays a man named Dennis who just came out of an asylum. It is seen what his schizophrenic mind is projecting. What can be done, we all think and wonder. Certain suggestions have made on how to improve the deception of people with mental illness in media, such as analyzing mass media production procedures to better understand the balance between being newsworthy or emotionally arousing and verifiable. Implementing a mental health short course when training journalists during a film's production. Presenting mental illness only when relevant to the story. Using mental illness terminology with precision, fairness, and experience. As individuals who consume copious with social media, best thing that we can do is stop using words like crazy and deranged in a derogatory fashion. Again, my name is Cassandra Lewis, and this is my presentation on mental illness misrepresented. Thank you very much.